And now, introducing Casey Carter.
Hey, it's Wednesday, hump day, and it's time for Casey at Night. How you doing? Whew, let me tell you, I don't know about you, but I've had a week. It's only Wednesday. It's like I haven't even completed a full 3 days, and I feel like I've completed a full 3 weeks of work in just 2 days, 2.5 days. I don't know, but let me tell you, I am so happy that it's Wednesday because that means I'm now on the downslope. I'm still going to be a little bit high because I got one more conference call this week, and then it is smooth sailing. Smooth sailing. I hope all of you had a great Mother's Day. If you had to celebrate your mom, celebrate a mom, be celebrated as a mom. I hope it was awesome. We had the best time this weekend thanks to the lovely Vaughn Nielsen. We went to Tiny Lou's. Gosh, I probably should have pulled up my photos so I could show you. We went to Tiny Lou's and had just a really good time. Tiny Lou's is in the Claremont Motor Hotel down the street, literally stone's throw from Pot City Market. It was my first time there. Oh my God. We were treated like rock stars, basically. We were in a little, Vaughn hooked us up with the reservation. And we were in a little section all by ourselves with this table. We had champagne. We had drinks. We first started up on the rooftop. I mean, oof, it was a time. It was so good. It was so good. And then on Sunday, because that was Saturday, on Sunday, we went to the club or clubhouse. My folks call it the club. But we went to the clubhouse in their neighborhood for Mother's Day brunch. And that was bomb. That was bomb. And we go to the clubhouse just about all the holidays because honestly, it's convenient. You ever tried to go to a restaurant on Mother's Day? Line be out the door. Just ridiculous. And, we be hooking it up in the clubhouse. So shout out to Eagles Landing Country Club and the clubhouse crew. Yeah, new chef. Bomb. Bomb, 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 bomb. And now I'm settling down so I can get ready for my next weekend so I can have a good old time. Quick shout out to my friend Jason here who celebrated his birthday on Saturday. Happy birthday, Jason. I hope it was awesome. Awesome. I see you said it was great, but I sincerely hope it was awesome. And, I'll see you at 10 on BoobTube so we can once again shout you out for your birthday. Were you here last week? I know Jason, was here last week when I talked about orgasms. But were you here last week when I talked about orgasms? No? No? Okay. All right. Go to my YouTube, Casey at Night, and watch my show about orgasms. I'm going to talk about, or I should say, I talked about what the female orgasm feels like. And you're thinking, oh, but like everybody talks about what it feels like. Mm-mm. No, they don't. No, they don't. They give you it's like waves crashing against the shore. It's like, I didn't give you the it's like. I didn't do the it's like. I didn't, even though I gave you the scientific definition of what an orgasm is, I gave you here's what you're going to be looking for. I told you things like Your scalp will tingle. Your fingers and toes will tingle. We talked about ears ringing, vision blurring, body convulsing like a seizure, heart, a heat radiating from your pelvic area, your heart racing, your blood pressure might even spike up. Um, Aftershocks, aftershocks, vaginal convulsions or spasms. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I talked about. Okay, I want you to know this is what you're looking for. You're not looking for the waves crashing against the shore. You're not looking for that because one of the descriptions talk about just this release. You're not, no, because some of you may not even know what. Okay, was that it? Was that it? Was that those are things that you are hard and concrete. You will know if your scalp tingles. You will know if your fingers feel like they're going numb. You will know if it all of a sudden gets hot in the area of your vagina. You will know if your body is convulsing. Like, you know, you absolutely will know. So, if you didn't see that show, check it out on YouTube, Casey at Night, and see what I had to say about the female orgasm. However, tonight, I'm giving you 8 sexy questions to ask your partner, and another 8 you might not want to go there if it's like a brand new relationship. You might not want to ask these questions out the gate. You know, I mean, I'm not saying you can never ask these questions in particular, but I'm just saying out the gate, these 8, that's not sexy. Those out the gate aren't sexy. Those 8 are going to be for, like, you've been together for a minute. You kind of know what they like. They kind of know what you like. And now we want to dig a little deeper, talk a little bit more. We're going to do that next. But first, wait, before I give you the but first part, gas shortage. Now, granted, they say they got the whole pipeline thing worked out, but how many of y'all ran to the gas station to fill up? Like, I know I did. I think I went Sunday. I think I made it a point of going on Sunday to make sure I topped off. I mean, I was at half and I probably could have gone through the week. But who wants to test whether or not they were going to get it together so that we could have gas? What was tripping me out were the people who were putting gas in the plastic bags you get from the grocery store, or the people who filled their trunk with clear plastic bags worth of gasoline. Let me ask you a question. Do you not realize this is a combustible item? The reason it's in a container within the car, in a specially constructed container, is because it's combustible. It doesn't take much for it to go. People, stop losing your fucking mind, okay? Let's think. Stop doing the dumb shit. You cleaned out all the toilet paper when they talked about COVID. What? You think that if you didn't have toilet paper during the pandemic that your ass was going to be dirty? That's why you have a washcloth, people. Wash your ass when you run out of paper. Okay? So stop it. We've got the pipeline thing fixed. Stop doing the dumb shit. You can't drive around with gas in a shopping bag. Like, and I bet you there's some of you out there who did the Ziploc bag. You probably put it in the big giant water jug that you put your money in. You probably did that. Please, people, there's a reason why there are specially constructed containers to hold gasoline. It's combustible. You can kill yourself. Thank you. That was my public service announcement for today. But now, little tea time with Duchess Cashmere. Hey girl, how are you today?
Ooh, I'm doing good. It was rainy today, so we just snuggled in love all day. But I got some piping hot tea for you.
What?
Clutch your pearls now and thank me later,
What?
because today's tea is all about the first time I rode a Sibian machine.
Oh,
Mm. So
yeah.
picture it. My mister and I went to a hotel takeover. And so we're taking in all of the sights and sounds of the different rooms. Then there was the sex toy room. Okay. It spoke to me. It drew me in. So the lady that controls it, she's called the riding mistress. And she and I, we had a little chat and we established a set of boundaries and permissions of the nasty persuasion. And my orgasm came pouring out and the crowd went wild, girl.
Did you stream all over the room?
Oh, honey, not stream, but pour, gush. I think the sound was sploosh.
I love it. I love it. And I'm sure you got a standing ovation.
Absolutely. I am the Duchess. So always trust yourself, your gut, your intuition. If it's good, oh, honey, it's going to be good. Submit to it. That's a slogan. That's a slogan.
Ah!
I think we should talk about it. Diving deep, let it go, say you want it. Talk about it. Gotta know that you want it. Talk about it.
Hey, so we are back. And as that little promo said, we are going to talk about 8 sexy questions you should ask your partner. And of course, there's going to be 8 you should not ask your partner. And I am huge proponent of communication. Relationships are built on trust, and that trust is partly as a result of communication. Open, honest, transparent communication. One of those places we don't like to talk, sex. We don't. We say enough to get our partner interested. We say enough to say get the fire stoked and burning, and we rely on the fact that we are naturally sexual beings. And so we just let instinct take over after we do a little bit of foreplay, a little bit of pre-foreplay, and we just let nature run its course and go from there. We try new things not necessarily because we talk about it. We try new things because we just slip it in the moment and go, "Woo, okay, good. I didn't get in trouble for that." And that's not good. That is not how you establish a healthy sexual relationship, a healthy sexual dialogue. You have to talk. You have to not be afraid to ask questions. And you have to not be afraid to answer. And you have to not be afraid of the answers. So I'm going to give you 8 questions to get you started. I don't care where you are in the scope of your relationship, whether it's brand spanking new, whether it's sort of in that intermediate, yeah, we're together, but we're still kind of feeling this out, or whether you've been together 10, 15, 20 years. It's never too late to start talking. For those of you who've been in a relationship for forever, to just all of a sudden start having the conversation, you might find out that thing that your partner likes, oh yeah, they still like it, but for like the last 5 years they've wanted to try something different, but they didn't know how to tell you. Or you slip into routine, and so you just going ahead, do what you do, they get off, you get off, everybody's happy. There's no need to do anything different because this seems to work. That has nothing to do with whether or not you do something else. It has nothing to do with that. You should always be exploring, always be invested in your partner's pleasure, as well as they in yours, and in each of you in your own. So let's start with our first 4 questions. Sorry, I forgot my mic was muted. Ah, number 1 question. Okay, wait. Hold on. We got to take that back. Bear with me here. Hold that thought. Out. First, where on your body is your favorite place to be touched? Anybody? Anybody? Show of hands. Where do you like to be touched? Why does that even matter? Because you're touching your partner all over anyway, right? No, you're not. You're not really touching your partner all over. Here's the reality. Some people like to have their scalp touched. They like to have their hair, their head rubbed. Some may like to have their ear nibbled, or they may just like to feel the heat of your breath on their neck. Some people may like to have the back of their knee rubbed, right? Kissed, their hands massaged. They may like the feel of the interlaced hands and just that pull, that gentle pull. These are all things that are not the traditional squeeze the nipple, flick the clit, tug on the penis. These are things outside of that, right? These are the things you don't think to ask your partner. You don't sometimes think to explore what kinds of physical touch would my partner enjoy. Why does this matter? Because you can do these things in front of people. You can grab your partner's earlobe and just tug on it a little bit. Not a lot. Not even so much that it feels like you're pulling on it. It's the fact that you touch it at all that's going to elevate your partner's excitement. Running gently, running your hand across your partner's head out in public stimulates them because they know that you know that's the spot. When you do that, oh, girl, what you saying to me? Right? You're in a line at the grocery store and she just randomly just, or the small of the back. Anybody who's ever watched a couple, when you see the hand hit the small of the back, you immediately say, oh, they're hitting it. Why? Because that's a sensual spot. And I guarantee you a lot of us aren't taking advantage of that. A lot of us aren't telling our partner how we feel with these non-sexual touches. Start doing more of the non-sexual touches and start by asking your partner, where do you like to be touched? Another one, number 1 on the list. Do you like during sex? I know, some of you may think, duh, of course people kiss. No, they don't. Not everybody kisses. Not everybody kisses during sex. Not everybody kisses in general. Some folks, kissing is a very, very, very intimate thing. For those of you who have seen Pretty Woman, you remember Julia Roberts' character would not kiss Richard Gere. She was a call girl. She was an escort for hire. And kissing was that's the hard stop right there. When I'm kissing, when you and I kiss, that now has made this intimate. We are now in a relationship at this point. So kissing is a very, very intimate experience. And you're going to find that a lot of people aren't big kissers. Whether it's because that's a signal for you that maybe they're not quite that into you, or maybe they're a bad kisser. Maybe there's something physiologically wrong. And so, maybe they've got halitosis and they don't want to be embarrassed when they kiss you and you can smell the halitosis. Or maybe they genuinely just don't kiss. You should ask. You should know. Because maybe if they're a person who doesn't like to kiss and you are a person who likes to kiss, you need to be having this conversation because they need to understand how kissing makes you feel, how kissing your partner ignites the excitement in the relationship. It brings you to a place of readiness, and it's important to have it. So when you don't have it, it makes you feel some kind of way. Yeah. So ask your partner, do you like to kiss during sex? Big deal. Big, big deal. What's your favorite place to be kissed? Now, this goes back to your favorite place to be touched. And again, you're thinking, okay, wait, like I'm going to kiss the lips. Yeah, I'm going to kiss, the nipples, the erogenous zones or whatever. But some of us like to be kissed on our collarbone or along the nape of our neck, behind our ear. Some people, for whatever reason, are turned on by having their eyelids kissed. Sounds crazy, right? It's not. It's really not. It's a gentle kiss to the eyelid. It's that closeness. It's being close enough to feel the heat coming off someone's body. It's being close enough that they have to caress you or bring you into that private space of theirs, and you can smell everything about them. You need to know. Back of the leg, back of the knee. Not exactly in the vagina, but in that inner thigh. Some kissing, some nibbling. People, are you asking your partner these questions? And I know some of you are like, well, that's just what I do. I just do that. Right. But did you ask your partner if they liked it? I mean, I know you're telling yourself they respond when I do it, therefore they must like it. Okay. So let's say you're an inner thigh kisser and that's how you do on your way to the oral sex. But what if you were to find out that really it's the earlobe and this area right here that will make them just lose their mind? And all this time you've been getting them good with them in the thigh kisses and the nipples and the whatever. But now you find out that this right here, that was the spot all the whole time and you've been missing it. Ask your partner. Ask your partner, where do you like to be kissed? Simple question. Simple question. And it gets you more than you can imagine. Way more than you could ever imagine. Okay. Let's look at our next set of questions. Okay, I did it again. I'm sorry. It was muted. Okay. So let's talk about these 4 questions. Do you have any fetishes? When it comes to BDSM, how far have you gone or would go? Do you like to be spanked? And do you prefer to take control or be submissive? Now, there's a lot of ways you can approach this, and clearly there's a theme to these 4 questions. This is where you are kind of feeling them out in terms of their level of kink, their level of comfort with kink. And so you have to do this, you have to be smooth, right? If you're not already, say, in the kink community and this is just a regular vanilla type relationship, and you know you're kinky, but you're not quite sure what the other person, where the other person is at, or what they're located, where they're located with all of that, this is how you get started. And there is a certain level of discomfort for some people with these questions. And I like that. I like that a lot. You know why? Because if you can look at them when you ask them the questions, you can gauge how they're really feeling. If I can watch you when I say to you, Jason, do you have any fetishes? Anything you like that? And you're like, what? Fetish? Wait, no. Wait, okay, wait, what do you mean? That initial reaction says, okay, let me tread lightly here. Okay, let me be careful. Let me be easy. Let me not push too hard. Or if the response is, yes, I have got the biggest foot fetish. Oh my God. And I love a high heel shoe with a peak toe pump and blah, blah. Okay, now you've gotten the green light. We can now push on through that question. But you have to be paying attention to how your partner reacts to the question, because you need to be able to gauge whether or not it's okay to go further or whether that's far enough. And we'll come back to this at another time. When it comes to BDSM, how far have you gone or would go? Again, another question in which your partner may be hesitant or reluctant to answer. So oftentimes it's not even because they're ashamed of what they may or may not have done. They're more concerned about how you will judge them. If this is a brand new experience, or if you guys have been together for a minute and you've never done anything kinky, and I'm using air quotes because my kink versus your kink could be nothing. I could be, hooked up to jumper cables and ball gag in my mouth, while for you, kinky is your partner tying his necktie around your head. Like, you know what I'm saying? So kink is relative. It's what's kinky to you, not some scale that you have to meet. But again, asking these questions gives you an idea as to how your partner feels about these subjects and whether or not it's something you can explore with your partner. You get a partner who says they've never done anything related to BDSM, you want to then know, okay, well, would you? And then if they say no, you do want to find out why. What is your perception of BDSM? What do you think BDSM is? And you may find out that they instinctively think that it's, whips and chains and ball gags and tying you up and blindfolding you and doing all these things to you. Yeah, it's all of that. But you don't have to start at that level. That's not a requirement that you be up there. You can start down here somewhere. And it can be, you can start with something as simple as a wooden spoon. And we're going to start there. And we're going to start testing out your level of sensitivity and testing out your tolerance. And it's very simple. Pervertibles. For someone brand new into BDSM, pervertibles are your friend. Pervertibles are the household items that you can grab at any given moment. I've got a rubber band, literally rubber band sitting right here. Take the rubber band. You can wrap it around nipples. You can, do your best to maybe wrap it around a clit. If you can pull your partner's lips, you can wrap it around their lips. Anything that helps to stimulate it. You can, something as simple as putting it on their wrist. And if you're sitting next to each other, there may be a word or something that they do routinely, regularly, that you say, okay, every time you say, you're going to pop that, right? So at some point, they get past the initial shock of, you just popped me with a rubber band. And then after a while, it'll begin to be this game you play. And after a while, you're going to find it arousing because you may incorporate kissing, that spot they like so much, with the pop. And at some point, that Pavlov's dog effect kicks in, and they can associate that wrist pop with that kiss, that stimulation, so that you can, say, take away the kiss, pop the elastic, and you can bring them to a level of excitement that you've built up from that Pavlov's dog thing. I actually like that idea a lot. Anyway, okay. Do you like to be spanked? Again, your partner may not be into that. Their mind may go to over the knee and, hard spanking, pulling down your panties, or they may be black, and the idea of spanking takes them back to the slave days and how slaves were brutally beaten with whips and things. And, for some people, that's a hard mountain to climb. And I'm going to suggest you back off of that. Like, really pull way back if that's their immediate reference. If that's not, and they kind of are like, well, I don't know, I don't like the way it feels. Well, then you start small and say, well, let's try it until we find one you do like. And then you kind of grow from there. But again, you'll never get there if you don't ask the questions. And I'm not talking about that spanking you do when you're hitting it from the back and you slap that ass. That's not the spanking I'm talking about. Let's just be clear, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something way beyond that. Because for those of you who slap that ass while you're hitting it from the back, that's all you're doing. You're just slapping that ass, right? That's not spanking that ass. That's slapping that ass. So let's just be clear. Two different things. Okay? All right. So that was a quick run through of your first 8 questions. Make sure I hit them all, right? That's a quick run through of your first 8 questions. After this, we'll talk about 8 questions you shouldn't ask. And we're back. I'm sorry. I was literally in the middle of my tequila sip when we came back. Okay, so we went through the 8 questions you should ask your partner. And again, like I said, these are 8 questions you can ask at any stage in your relationship. I don't really care whether it's a brand new relationship, we've been together for a minute, or we've been together for forever. If you're not already doing some kinky stuff, BDSM oriented, start having the conversation. Assuming you're interested. I don't want you doing anything that you're not interested in. But assuming you're interested in, ask your partner. If you're not kissing, if you can't tell me what's your partner's sweet spot, and I don't mean their genitals, I mean that other spot that you can touch in public. If you don't know what that spot is, that's your homework assignment. I need you to tell me what's your partner's sweet spot. And the only way you're going to know is if you ask. So if you don't already know, homework assignment, find out what's your partner's sweet spot. Whether it's specifically the spot they love to have kissed, or whether it's the spot they want you to touch, or whether they're one and the same. But that's your homework assignment. What is your partner's sweet spot? Have I said it enough times for you to get where I'm going? Okay, good. So when we come back next week, that's what I want to know. As a matter of fact, let me write that down to remind myself. What is your partner's sweet spot? But coming up next, I'm legit writing this down. Because, honey, I'm going to forget before the end of the show. Okay. Coming up next, 8 questions you shouldn't ask, specifically brand new relationship. So the first 4. How many people have you slept with? Have you ever made a sex tape? What's the best sex you've ever had? And when did you first have sex? So you're thinking, okay, Casey, what's the problem with those questions? Some of them, they're not obvious. Some of them, you're like, what's the big deal about asking someone when was the first time they had sex? I'm going to tell you what the problem with that question is. Some of you are going to be judgmental. You are. You can't help yourself. And you're going to do it in a way that you're just questioning what your partner said, but the reality is it's the tone of voice that you use. Some of you are going to ask that of your partner, and it could quite possibly trigger a bad memory. You have to take into consideration a lot of women, their first sexual experience happens very, very young. And it happens not by choice. So you don't necessarily want to go down the road of how old were you the first time you had sex? Because that could actually trigger your partner. And now, what are you going to do? So let's avoid that particular question, okay? How many people have you slept with? The fuck do you need to know that for? What difference does it make? Whether I've slept with one person or whether I've slept with 100. And some of you are going to say, and it's usually guys who really want to know this because we women, we make an assumption. If you don't come to me as a virgin, I'm just going to assume you out there. So typically guys, you always want to know that how many, because it becomes this question of judging, of now you're busy in your head trying to figure out how you compare, and it creates more drama than the question warrants. And I'm gonna tell you why. Remember them other 8 questions I told you to ask, the ones from a minute ago? I said ask these questions. Those are the questions that matter, because whatever happened before you were there, those questions will firmly position you here and now. What happened back then, back before you showed up, how relevant is it? Unless it's affecting your partner's ability to be intimate. And I don't necessarily mean sexual. I mean their ability to be vulnerable with you, their ability to be transparent, their ability to just give you themselves. How many people they slept with before you showed up? None of your fucking business. Okay? And if somebody actually gives you that level of response and you get your feelings hurt, fuck you. Who cares how many people they slept with before you showed up? Seriously. Some people sleep with people for a profession. Can you handle that? Probably not. So, leave the question of how many people have you slept with. Leave it alone. Don't bring it up. Don't nobody care. None of your damn business is how many people I slept with. Okay? Grow the fuck up. Leave that question back in high school. I'm sorry. I'm checking the rest of my questions here on that one. Hold on. Let's go back. Sorry, that's built in on that one. So, sex tape. Don't ask that question. Again, none of your fucking business if I've ever made a sex tape. Why? So you can say, let me see it? So you can judge me? No. Nope. Not gonna tell you. Not gonna tell you. And I'm gonna tell you what. If you have a problem with the fact that I'm not answering that question, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. None of your goddamn business. Again, the running theme in these 8 questions is none of your goddamn business. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. And the reason I say that is because why do you need to know that? And you're going to say, well, I'm just trying to get a feel, trying to get an idea of what you will and won't do, blah, blah, blah. Dude, it's none of your business. Seriously, none your business. None your business. Whether or not I've made a sex tape. That's what I'm saying. It's none of your business. And what's the best sex I ever had? Now, I'm gonna tell you right now. And this is for the dudes. This is for y'all. Because y'all like that question. The reason you don't want to ask me that question is because at this point, if you ask me what's the best sex you ever had, my response is going to be regarding someone else. It ain't going to be you. Because you should know whether or not you laying it down. If you asking me those first 8 questions I mentioned, then you taking me there. And the answer, technically, it should be you. But the fact that you want to ask me, motherfucker, it ain't you. Okay? That's all you need to know. Wasn't you. No. All right. I'm going to leave that alone. Because these are the kind of questions that irritate the fuck out of me. Like, I've heard these questions and I'm like, okay, who are you doing this for? Because at the end of the day, if I truthfully answer these questions, it's going to fuck with you. It ain't going to fuck with me. Because you're going to say some shit that's going to insult me or be condescending or imply something that I'm not going to appreciate. And so I'm trying to do you a favor by telling you don't do this. Fellas, don't ask these questions. And ladies, you don't maybe ask the question the way I'm presenting it, but you do get to this place where you want to know about the girls who did what and how they do it. And, you probably like it when they do blah, 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 but I don't do that. I'm not going to put your balls in my mouth. I'm not going to do this, that, or the other. Don't do that. Don't do that, because that brings a whole negative energy to the experience, and you just going to fuck that up, is all I'm saying. So while you are sitting there saying to yourself, I don't ask them kind of questions, Casey, so you ain't got to worry about me. No, you ask the same question just in a different way. So stop it. Just don't do that. So here's our other 4 questions. Have you ever sent nudes of yourself? Have you ever slept with someone you work with? Have you ever had an inappropriate crush? And have you joined the Mile High Club? I'm sorry. I forgot it does that. So here's the crazy thing about these questions. The Mile High Club. You corny as fuck if you ask me that question. Ask me that question when we're on the airplane together. And then you say, hey, you want to do a little something? Ask me it then, when we're side by side on the airplane, a mile in the sky. I'm going to let you ask it then. But while we down here on the ground, don't ask me that dumbass shit. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because I'm going to want to embarrass you. And anyway, have you ever slept with a coworker? Again, that's a question that leads to judgment. Don't do that. Don't put your partner, if you care about this person. Thank you, Jason. But don't put your partner whether it's a brand new relationship or whether it's someone that you care about, don't put them in that position. Because even if they haven't slept with someone at work, they may find that question offensive. They may want to know, what are you trying to imply? Don't do that. And the question of whether you've ever had an inappropriate relationship, well, how do you define it? Now, we got that senator who apparently, sleeping with 17-year-olds. That's inappropriate. He claims he didn't do it, but it's inappropriate, right? But how do you define inappropriate? And why would you ask me a question that paints me in such a negative light? Why would you do that to me? So yeah, don't ask that question. Do not ask a person, Mile High Club, unless of course we're sitting on the plane and you want to go on ahead and do that right now. Sex with a coworker or an inappropriate crush. And what was the other one? Hold on, let's go back for a second. Have you ever sent nudes of yourself? Okay, now let's be honest. A lot of us have done it. If we weren't full on nude, we sent some part of our nude body. Don't waste time answering that question. Because if you want them to send you a nude picture, just go straight there. Don't tiptoe around the dumb shit. Just go ahead and ask that question. But again, don't ask me that question an hour after I've met you on Tinder. Y'all you're too quick. You're too quick. You're too eager. And maybe I'm old school and I happen to like romance and, I like to be chased and courted and teased. And don't misunderstand, because women, we do chase and, like to do that also. But don't be so quick to want to ask some of these questions. And don't ask it in the sense of you want to know what they did with somebody else. You want really more of your own relationship with this person. Don't put them in a position where you can then judge them. And maybe it's accidental, but just don't do it. Just don't do it. So again, 8 questions that I highly recommend you not ask your partner is: have you joined the Mile High Club? Have you ever made a sex tape? Have you ever slept with someone at work? Have you ever sent nudes? I just read more than 4 questions? No. Yeah. Have you ever... What is the best sex you've ever had? When did you first have sex? And how many people have you slept with? Don't ask them questions. Don't make it awkward for yourself or for your partner or for your potential partner. Don't just, don't. Who cares? And like I said, if you get a fuck you and none of your goddamn business from that, you deserve it. Okay? I'm just saying. So anyway, my friends, that's it for today. Those are your questions. Those are the 8 questions you should ask and the 8 sexy questions you should not ask. Just to jump off. I mean, you should be having all kinds of conversation. Like I said in the beginning of the show, you should be having all kinds of conversation with your partner. But if you are not asking those 8 questions, I hope you're asking something. And if you haven't asked those 8 questions, I told you, what's your homework assignment? Did you forget? Your homework assignment is to tell me what is your partner's sweet spot. That's what I want to know. Because that means you've done the work to find out. So, what's your partner's sweet spot? Homework. All right, hold on a sec. Got another commercial break. So, Casey Carter has been nominated for 2 awards for ASN Lifestyle Magazine. That's the link down on the bottom. I know you're going to say, Casey, I can't remember that. I can't even push on that. I know. So here's the thing. If you go to ASN Lifestyle Magazine Awards.com, you'll find your way there. But when you're there, I need you to vote for me. Best Lifestyle Adult Industry Erotic Writer, Best Lifestyle Adult Educator. You're going to say, Casey, how am I supposed to remember that? How do I remember that? It's easy. Just click until you find my name. I literally am at the top of my 2 categories. My name's first. So when you hit the button for the category and you see my name, that's the one. And there's 2 of them. You can vote every day. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. Let's say you go to Starbucks. Now that the world is open again. Let's say you vote at home, right? That morning. And then you go to Starbucks and you jump on Starbucks Wi-Fi. You can vote again. And then let's say, I don't know, you go to another spot, different Wi-Fi, and you log on. You can vote again. You didn't hear that from me though. So anyway, vote for your girl. Best lifestyle, erotic author and educator. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I got what you need. I got what you want. I got what you need. Tell them giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front. Exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need. I got what you want. I got what you need. Tell them giddy up.
Hey, the BBC dealer. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And please forgive me because I'm due for a dye. But here's the thing, or a bleaching rather. Here's the thing. I just went back to this haircut from deciding that I wanted to do a mohawk, faux hawk, whatever. Did that for several months. And then was scrolling through photos to find something super random and was like, you know what? I like my whole this thing here. So this is the first bleaching after going back to cutting it all off. And honey, burnt up them hairline. Whew. So I'm going to be hitting it back up this weekend. But thank you. I love this space right here with my hair. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I want to thank you for watching tonight's show. 8 sexy questions to ask your partner and 8 questions you should not ask your partner. Like I said, it's a jump off. This is where you get the conversation started. This is me saying, okay, you don't have conversation about your sex life or the whatever on a regular basis. I'm going to help you get that going. And these are the questions I suggest you start with. And if you have the answer to those questions, you know what? Just ask them for the sake of verification. You know, you've been with your partner 10 years and you kiss that inner thigh and they like it and whatever. I dare you to ask your partner, what's your sweet spot? And find out, maybe it's not the inner thigh. They just like it because they like it, but that's not the spot they really want you to hit. So just ask the question. You ain't got nothing to lose. You got everything to gain by finding out what your partner really, really likes. But coming up next, in just an hour from now, or a little more than an hour from now, I am going to be on BoobTube on Exotica TV with my co-hosts, Carrie Anthony and Desirable Bottom, Desiree Desirable Bottom. And this week we're talking about Mel Brooks. So depending upon how old you are, you may or may not have any clue who Mel Brooks is. That's okay. Come on to the show at 10 o'clock. We are on YouTube and Periscope at Exotica TV, and we have a whole lot of fun. Even if you don't know who we're talking about or you don't know what the hell we're talking about, we have way more fun than you should. You think he's corny? Then I tell you what, 10 o'clock, when we do BoobTube, come on back to the show and you can tell us just how corny you think he is. I'm okay with that. I'd love to have you join us at 10 o'clock and talk about how corny you think Mel Brooks is. But as for me, as for right now, as for Casey at Night, that's it for this week. However, so I got this box. Hold on. I got this box. I know you're like, what the hell? It's because it's got my address on it. Anyway, I got this box this weekend. It is from the Thruster Velvet Velvet Thruster Company. They sent me a box of goodies, and I had every intention on opening it during the show, but I had to gauge the time to see if we had the right amount of time because I wanted to get through all these questions, and so I didn't necessarily get it done today, but I am going to do an unboxing. I've never done an unboxing, but this is good. This is so good. This is the stuff. This is what you want to see. So next week, I'm going to give you all an unboxing. Hopefully I can last that long. Fingers crossed. But if you don't know who the Velvet Thruster is, go to my website, CaseyCarter.com, and check out the Velvet Thruster. It is the, let's say, it's very unique experience, very unique toy. It's a very different kind of toy. And I've known these folks now since I think 2018. And I really do. I've seen a lot of evolution. I'm looking around now trying to see if I've got any of the toys handy, but I've seen a lot of evolution of their products. And yeah, come on back. Thank you, Lorenzo. CaseyCarter.com. Go to my site. Check out the Velvet Thruster on my site. Use my link and you can get 20% off. But come back next week and watch me unbox the thrusters. Just like saying, release the hounds. Yeah, I know, I'm tripping. It's all good, my friends. But anyway, thank you for being with me this week. Thank you for being with me every week for that matter. And I look forward to seeing you at 10 o'clock. Or I'll see you next week. All right. Bye.